In this episode, we visit the Ho Chi Minh Mausoleum and the building complex. We then take an overnight train to the city of Hue, where we have a scooter ride around town to see some of the sights, and stop at a small home business making incense sticks and hats. We start the day in Hanoi visiting the Ho Chi Minh Mausoleum. We walk past the mausoleum building and then visit the presidential palace, then see the small house where he lived, and then the famous stilt house where he lived until his death. The mausoleum is located in Ba Dinh Square. We walked past the building, but it wasn't open for visitation when we were there. All the guards outside wore smart white uniforms and had stern expressions on their faces. This is the Vietnam National Assembly building, located right opposite the mausoleum, which serves as the final resting place of Vietnamese President Ho Chi Minh. This is the presidential palace, built by the French and completed in 1906. Ho Chi Minh never actually lived here, saying it was too grand for him. Instead, he lived in a small, modest house known as House Number 54. This is the famous House Number 54, where Uncle Ho lived from December 1954 to May 1958, when he moved to the famous stilt house. Here are some views from the inside. I apologize for the reflections. The Soviet Union gifted Uncle Ho this armored ZIS-115. They also gave him a Pagoda, and the other car he used frequently was a Peugeot 404. There you can see house number 54 on the other side of the fish pond. This is the famous stilt house where Uncle Ho lived and worked from 1958 until his passing on 2nd September 1969. We then visited the famous one-pillar pagoda. Located near the mausoleum, it was built in 1049 by Emperor Li Tai-tung. Inside is a shrine to Quan Am. Near the one-pillar pagoda is a poster showing a cause and effect of life. It could be interpreted as karma. Later at night, we boarded an overnight train to the city of Hue. This was our berth for the night. You can see Sharon on the left with Lawrence below, and my bunk on the right with Saxon above. This train travels on the same tracks as the famous train street that we visited the night before.
Yeah, there's people.
Oh,
Look,
sorry.
oh, it's not as busy.
Oh, so it's down. That's why we can't. Oh, right, I've got you. So we can't.
Sunday.
They're down.
Yeah.
They're down.
Sunday 9 o'clock.
Yeah, it's not
Oh, it's
not as busy.
We woke the next morning to ominous dark clouds overhead as we approached the city of Hue. Here we are approaching the Hue station. Outside the station, we met up with our new bus and we went to the hotel to freshen up before heading out for a city tour. So this is the weather today. We're supposed to go on a motorcycle tour of the city. Not sure how that's going to go. As we waited for our scooters to arrive, it was raining heavily. However, street vendors and scooter businesses went about as normal. Our scooters arrived, and we were each assigned a scooter and a rider. They gave us helmets and a poncho to wear. That's my driver, Mr. Tweet.
Yeah.
There you can see hundreds of ducks, which help the rice farmers by eating weeds and bugs in the rice paddies. This is the Thanh Toan Bridge. In 1776, a member of the Tran family and wife of a high-ranking official used her own money to build the bridge and then donated it to the village. You can see how wonderfully it has been decorated with dragons and carvings with pearl inlays. In the middle, there is a shrine. This bridge is located over a tributary of the Perfume River. We stopped at this market nearby, and some people got a coffee and a snack while I walked around looking at the sights in this market. You can see that hygiene and sanitary handling of meat is not a priority here.
That's awesome.
We then made our way to the Thien Mu Temple, built in 1601 by Nguyen Hoang, who at the time was the governor of this region known as Tuan Hoa, but now is called Hue. This iconic 7-story pagoda is regarded as the unofficial symbol of the city. The temple sits on the Ha Ke Hill and is around 5 kilometers from the citadel of Hue. Passing through these triple gates, which are guarded by fierce warriors, will take you to the main temple. This is a view looking back at the triple gate and the pagoda. In 1695, Lord Nguyen Phuc Chu was appointed as the abbot of this pagoda. In 1710, he funded the casting of a giant bell which weighs 3,285 kilograms and can be heard about 10 kilometers away. Walking around the complex, we were lucky enough to see this turtle taking a long drink. In 1714, Chu oversaw another series of major expansions. The main set of triple gates were erected, in addition to different shrines and buildings, meditation halls, and living quarters for the monks. In the back of the complex, there is a building that houses the car that monk Teach Quang Duc used on 11th June 1963 to be driven to a busy Saigon intersection where he set himself on fire to protest the mistreatment of Buddhists by the South Vietnamese government of Ngo Dinh Diem. This car is an Austin Westminster sedan. This image shows the heart that remained after the self-immolation. Quang Duc's body was recremated, but his heart supposedly remained intact and did not burn. It was considered to be holy and placed in a glass chalice currently being stored in the So Lai Pagoda. Continuing on our journey, our next stop was at a shop that makes incense sticks and the Vietnamese hats known as non la, which translates to leaf hat. They gave us a drink of hot tea when we came there, and then we watched them rolling some incense sticks before we got to try a hand at making them ourselves. You can see how masterfully she rolls each stick quickly and efficiently and then drops them into a tray behind the table.
You know that in Vietnam we recycle everything. We don't waste anything, even the sawdust. And we put some water and we put some glue and we can stick them together. And then we make.
Here, Barbara tries her hand at making one. They made us wear the non-la hat while we were working. Here's Peter trying his hand. He is wearing the other traditional Vietnamese hat. And here is myself attempting to make one. The company I took the tour with likes to support small local businesses, hence our stop here.
Yeah.
Outside, the rain was pouring. The colored sections of the sticks you see here are the exposed ends of the incense sticks. The part that is covered with the fragrant material is left plain. Some hats have a poem inside, and An, our awesome guide, explained to us how these hats are made.
Can you see the poem? The shape underneath, can you see? Yeah, under the light, can you see?
Oh yes, I can. Isn't that clever?
We have the wood frame, wooden frame. So this frame, we have some rack. You see the rack? The rack. So we put the rectangle circle on the top of it, one by one. Yes. And then we use a leaf. What is a leaf? This leaf. What leaf is it?
Question?
This is the palm leaf. Look, it's very small like this, but when we open it, it looks like this. Much bigger, but it's wrinkled. So we need to iron it. How to iron? Look at this. Together, and then we put it on top like this, all around. Yeah? So it's very thin thread, plastic thread, to keep them waterproof and stable and solid. 2 layer of leaf, so that we can make the poem in it. Why I call it poem? Look at this. This is a poem. Yes. And the shape. This is a way that in the old time the female, they show their love to their resin. The resin. Yeah, the resin. So it helps to protect waterproof. Atom are the problem. Look like the hand roof. And then it's covered by shoulder as well. Okay?
I'm going to end this video here, and in the next video we continue our wet and windy tour to some ancient temples and tombs.